Hello, welcome to another episode of Pod Hour, a surprise episode of Pod Hour. We are going to talk about Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door getting a remake in the year of our Lord and Savior Shigeru Miyamoto, 2024. I am super excited for this. You should be too. If you have played it, you should be excited. If you haven't played it, you should play it. This should be your first time playing it. Nintendo giving this fantastic game an HD treatment is fantastic and should be celebrated. People should be dancing in the streets for this. But the way we do this pod hour is going to be a little bit different. If you're watching this, there's a video podcast up on Spotify and a couple other things, and YouTube and whatnot. You're going to see I just transitioned to a screen where we're going to go through the trailer. Unfortunately, I cannot play the audio from the trailer because I don't want to get hit with copyright. But we're going to play through it, and I'm going to talk through it bit by bit. It's kind of going to be like one of those let's analyze every single frame thing, but I'm not going to talk about it like critically. I'm just going to talk about my thoughts and my impressions from it. And we're going to go through my thought process as we go. So if you want to play along, if you're listening to this, be it on Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, wherever you might be listening to this, feel free to pull up the video. If not, I will explain what's happening piece by piece. So with that, let's start here. First thing that happens is the Switch logo, of course. Now this first shot here, if you haven't seen it yet, it's a shot of the book that is the story of the Thousand Year Door is told from, allegedly. If you've played the game, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, when you first turn on the game, the first thing they show you is this book that has a power star right in the middle of it. I was listening to this. I was doing something else, and I dropped everything. I dropped everything and started losing my mind. I never expected this day to happen, so seeing this happen was fantastic. And as it plays along, the music is actually pretty solid. It's a HD version of the music that plays when that first happens. Then we open up to Mario and Luigi's house. Nothing huge here. Nothing huge on this particular shot. The next shot, though, when we're in the house, we can hear the way that characters are going to talk in the game, which is different than the original. It sounds like they're using audio clips that these characters have used. Luigi in particular for this, it sounds like they're taking it and cutting it up, kind of like how they do it in Undertale. Like specific sounds just with every syllable being, or every word being iterated. I'm into that. I think it's good. The house looks fantastic. A big thing about this is it looks like it's made out of paper. If anybody remembers why the Thousand Year Door was quote unquote a flop back in the day, if you read any review, or like, let's go back for a second, not necessarily reviews. Nintendo considered Thousand Year Door a flop because critics were saying that it's called Paper Mario, yet there are very limited paper aspects to the game. So Nintendo took that critique and applied it to this, but kept the game the same based on this trailer so far. Everything looks like it's made out of paper or paper mache or even a teeny tiny little bit of cardboard. That's fantastic. The aesthetic remains the same, while the visual aspect of it changes to seem more paper-esque. That is a job well done. Nintendo nailed it. If anybody complains about it not being paper enough, they're dumb and stupid. And nobody's going to complain about that anymore, because we've had these games that have come out lately that are way too papery. Sticker Star and Color Splash. Way too papery. Nobody liked it. Origami King was a step in the right direction, and this dropping is clearly an indication that they are continuing in that good direction. So, with that being said, let's keep going with the trailer here. So it's playing, you see Luigi talk to Mario about the letter he got from Peach. That's how the story goes. Beautiful shot of Rogueport there. Again, looks a lot papery. You got the dock from Rogueport as soon as you land. You see a little bit of Goombella. You see the town square. You see Mario jumping. And again, the more you go through the trailer, the more you see paper things. There are some stairs in the background. If you're watching the trailer along, I'm at 33 seconds. There are some stairs in the background that look papery. The ground itself doesn't look super papery, but it doesn't need to. Again, it kind of hits the nail on the head in terms of staying true to the original while incorporating more paper aesthetics, I guess. Or paper visuals, I guess. Going along here, we get a nice close look at Professor Frankly's study, which is very poorly lit, which is fantastic. It shows that he is a bookworm and a nerd, because that's exactly what he is. Poor lighting means he studies very hard. And I'm into that. I'm into that particular change. If you look at the trash can on the left here, you can see it looks like those paper cups you put ketchup in at McDonald's. So I'm really into how paper the game looks. And even like look at Mario, right? Mario looks like a cardboard standout. Looks like one of those cards that you cut out. Looks really, really good. The game looks fantastic. The music is also updated too. The lighting looks fantastic. I just passed the shot. Let's go back a little bit. This shot in the 40 to 41 seconds of Mario walking across creepy steeple with the dupless kind of ominous stained glass in the background. Look at how the light filters through. I am so stupidly excited for this. Okay, this makes me excited for if they added anything else to the game, right? Because clearly the paper aesthetics are here. They nailed that. There's no question about that. Mario still maintains all his abilities. It doesn't look like anything really changes from the core gameplay and mechanics. The characters look the same. It really just looks like they upgraded it. They took the same game and they made it bigger. Made it better. I don't know about bigger yet. I guess we will see. But I've been letting the trailer run through this entire part, by the way, just in case you're listening. Now, what just happened in the minute and I want to say 8-second mark? Minute 7 to a minute 09, right? Look at how the stage comes into play. Look at how the stage comes into being, right? You have everything kind of show up on stage and then unfold. Again, tripling down on, yeah, this is a paper Mario game. It takes all the really not fun parts of paper from Sticker Star and Color Splash and makes it work visually. If they had done this in the original, I don't think anybody would complain about it not being paper. But they did it now, and I'm good with that. Let's keep going. Going through the trailer more, we see the audience fill out. We see that the battle mechanics are pretty much the same. Doesn't seem like a whole lot changed. Super guarding is back. Blooper looks a little weird with the paperification of the world, but everything else seems to work beyond that. We got Yoshi using Stampede. I'm going to pause here really quick. I hope they bring back the multiple color Yoshis depending on how long it takes for you to hatch the egg. I don't know if they will. I hope that they do. But just default green Yoshi here looks fantastic. Again, visually this game is stunning and beautiful and I'm really excited for it. Now we get into the Bowser section of the game, which looks pretty solid. I don't know if you could ground pound in the original. If we go back to a minute 34, if you look in the bottom left, there is a control scheme, almost. A button to jump, B button for flame, which I do remember from the original. I don't remember if there was a ground pound option in Thousand Year Door for GameCube. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. If this is new, then I think there are going to be more things. If it isn't, then whatever, so be it. Oh, it looks like Bowser had a... Hold on. If we pause at a very specific... Oh, whoops. I went full screen by accident. If we pause at a very specific frame with... Yeah, right here. If you pause within a very specific frame in a minute 35, you can see... I don't think we've ever seen Bowser's back in Thousand Year Door. This is a new sprite? I don't think you'd call it a sprite. Let's call it new sprite work. This is new sprite work. Bowser jumping up to that little pedestal. Normally he would maintain this position. And for those who are listening, there's it's when he's just facing forward, his normal default paper Bowser stance. We don't ever see him from the back. For all you beautiful people listening and maybe not following along with the video version, I love you. I just want you to know that. Thank you for listening to me say words. I just want to make sure we're clear that no matter how you're consuming this content, I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to finish the trailer out here, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about what I expect and what we can hope for. That shot right there, there's a shot where they're in the cheap blimp going up towards Glitzville. All three party members are visible. All three unlocked party members at that point are visible. That's fantastic. Good attention to detail there to include them all. It seems like they're going to include everybody in those in-between chapter discussions, which I'm really excited about. I like how these characters interact and talk to each other. I hope that they keep doing that. I hope not that they keep doing that. I hope that they expand on it a little bit more. The blimp also looks fantastic. We got Dry Bones and the Red Bones fight. It doesn't look like they changed any of the enemy sprite works. I paused on the frame where you get cursed. I like this shot of Mario getting zapped by the lightning. It's a better way to show off the curse effect. Just pure black with just the white beady eyes of him getting cursed. Again, it kind of looks like that. It kind of looks like wrapping paper in the background. This The way that they upgraded the visuals for this is really, really cool and exciting, and I'm very, very happy about it. We get a shot here of how they unfold into certain places. We get to see Koopy try to murder Koops. We get to see a person get pigified. There's a lot to like here. There's a lot of really, really cool things, just from like lighting and this shot right here, 1:57, of I won't say their name because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't played it. A certain character. Look in the background. Look at the light source where the you're in Twilight Town. That's not a spoiler. You're in Twilight Town and you can see the light from Twilight coming in from behind the stage. It feels like a set piece. It feels like a good light source on a good set piece. And with the way Paper Mario is like structured to be kind of like a show, it fits so well. It fits so well. This is probably going to be the ideal way to play the game. Speedrunners are going to be upset that the glitches from the original are gone. I don't care about that. Grow up. Play the game the right way. Play the game the full way. I'm all for speedrunning. I'm all for glitching. I do it myself. But when a game gets remastered or re-released because a company decided, yeah, fans want this. Remember the whole hashtag remaster 1,000 Year Door, however many years ago, 3-4 years ago, whatever it might be? The same people who complained about Super Mario 64 not having backwards long jump in 3D All-Stars are the same people who are going to complain that you can't do certain glitches in 1,000 Year Door. Get over it. Nintendo took time and money and put this thing out, and it's probably going to be the best way to experience this game. Hitting play again, we get a good shot of Rock Hawk. We get to see the Hooktail introduction, and we get the logo shot at 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Look at how good that logo looks. It looks like one of those paper standouts, like almost like a pop-up from a pop-up book. You can see the seams and the edges on the side of what makes it look very papery. I'm very, very excited. If I just looked at this logo and nothing else, I'd be very, very excited. From here, it cuts into a section with Tech and Peach, which is like a subplot. That's kind of important. Tech, in the Japanese version, had a red light. It looks like that's going to be the case for every region, because outside of Japan, it was green or blue, or maybe even a green-blue. But it being uniform with this red thing is kind of cool. I'm kind of into it. And that's the trailer. It ends out with it saying it's going to come out in 2024. We don't know when, but regardless, I'm super excited for this. If you don't know by now, or if you can't tell just from me rambling for however long I've been rambling, this is one of my favorite games of all time. This game is going to be fantastic. I am going to play it to death when it comes out. I hope we see more information. I'm sure we will. I hope they add more things, but even if they don't, if this is just a purely graphical update and a couple like text things that might have been outdated, I think this is going to be the best version of one of the best games ever made. I'm very, very excited for this. I'm really happy all those years ago Nintendo took the hashtag Remaster 1,000 Year Door campaign to heart. I tried to join in with a couple things. If you're familiar with my YouTube channel, you know I have a playthrough. I think that playthrough's dead. I don't think I can go back and play it. I think I'm going to start a new playthrough with this one, and I am super, super excited for it. You should be too. You should go get it. I'm just so happy that this exists and that this trailer exists. Following Super Mario RPG, which is coming out a little bit later this year. As of me saying this, you might listen to this after it's out already. I mean, come on. This is fantastic. Nintendo is doing such a good job bringing back Mario RPGs. We can hope for Mario and Luigi games to come back as well. It would be kind of cool to see them come back in some way. Partners in Time in particular would be great, but again, I don't want to be greedy. I'm going to drink a little water here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I lost my mind when I saw this. There's a video up on Twitter of me screaming about how excited I am and just like the initial reaction to it. Again, I saw that book. I'll put it up on the screen for those of you who are watching the video version. I saw that book and my heart like started pumping like crazy. I didn't know how to react. I didn't know what to do. So I stopped and dropped everything I was doing. And I'm so excited for this game to come out. Oh, man, this is fantastic. I'm really, really excited for it. You should be too. I'm repeating myself a little bit, but it's important that you know how excited I am for this. Oh, man. I'm excited to see more. I'm excited for it to come out. This trailer gives me a lot. If we base everything off of just this trailer, this is going to be fantastic. Again, it's going to be the best possible version of one of the best games of all time. I'm very, very happy that Nintendo decided to do this. I'm happy that it got greenlit. Clearly, they took the Mario RPG thing to heart with Geno and all those other things. This is the culmination of a lot of years of asking and complaining, and I'm glad that they finally listened. I am so excited for new players to experience this game for the first time. I'm excited for old players like myself, to play through it in this new, visually updated way. This is just really exciting across the board. This is a game that absolutely should have been on Switch a long time ago. And the fact that it's not just getting a port, but a remake is also fantastic as well. And the right decision. Because that game is beautiful. It's a very beautiful game. It's one of those games that is timeless. And getting a remaster is just going to double down on that, you know? Whoever decided at Nintendo that this and Super Mario RPG should get remade, whoever made that creative decision at Nintendo deserves a kiss. A warm, tender kiss, and I hope that they get it. This is such a good, like, objectively a good call. Hopefully what this means for the future of Mario RPGs and Mario spin-offs is that they're embracing the things that made them so unique and so good, right? Like, embracing these older game mechanics. Because remember, this is a sequel to Paper Mario for Nintendo 64, which took that formula and made it great. This is, to me, this is the ideal Mario RPG experience. Mario and Luigi games are great. They are really, really fun. A lot of people don't like Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. I did. Not just because Paper Mario was in it, but because it felt like when you played Paper Jam and you play those Mario and Luigi games, that's kind of where the Thousand Year Door and Paper Mario 64 and Super Mario RPG, that's kind of where they led to. Right? Super Paper Mario, a fun game, a good game in its own right, but it didn't feel like Paper Mario. It felt like story-wise on par with Paper Mario games, but not gameplay-wise. The mechanics were different. This is keeping the mechanics, visually upgrading things, and possibly even adding more mechanics. We don't know. This was an announcement trailer. This was not an in-depth trailer. We're probably going to get something different in the launch trailer. We're going to learn so much more about this game before it comes out. But just from initial first impressions of what they're showing, it's a graphical update. A beautiful graphical update to a legendary game that should have gotten more praise back in the day, has been getting asked for. This has been asked for more and more in recent years. This is fantastic. This is just a very good decision by Nintendo. Hopefully that means we get more things like it. Combining this and Super Mario RPG and Origami King kind of leaning more towards this, like, I'm really, really excited for what's to come, even as the Switch seems to be rounding out its life cycle. This is so exciting. This is so objectively exciting. Anybody who is against this either didn't play it or just feels like being a hater, because this is a fantastic, fantastic game that is getting another chance to shine. And I have zero doubt that it will this time. I don't think, based on the trailer, I don't think they're doing too many paper-esque things. Because to bring it back to the original, there were some paper things in it. Like Mario folds like paper. He can roll up into a paper tube. He turns into a paper airplane, a paper boat. Like, there are a lot of paper things that Mario does. But I think they're taking the critique of not enough paper things and turning it into the backdrop pieces, which works. That works better. It's not like, you don't need to paperify Mario. You can paperify the world that Mario is in. I think that's where Color Splash and Sticker Star were like a misstep. I think they did too much trying to make Mario paper as opposed to just the surrounding world, if that makes sense. Because this is the right way to do it. I don't think you can fix Sticker Star and Color Splash. But Origami King was a fantastic game. It maintained its paper stuff pretty well, and it kind of looks like they took Thousand Year Door and put it into Origami King, which is fine. That's fine. Origami King was actually a very pretty, colorful, vibrant game. Taking that and applying it to what was already a fantastic, colorful, vibrant game from GameCube in 2004, 20 years later, dropping a graphical update that is beautiful. Like, it's kind of hard to mess this up. Especially because it doesn't look like they changed anything from the story or gameplay elements. It seems like they're going to do what they did with Super Mario RPG, which we also learned more about today, that they are taking the original game and they are adding a few key things that do not take away from the experience, but kind of amplify it. I'm sure that's where they're going with this. I'm super excited for it. I'm really, really excited for it. This up there, just on a personal note, is up there with Banjo being revealed in Smash and when Super Mario RPG got announced. Those are my 3 modern day hype things. I'm super, super pumped. You, in the comments or in the replies or wherever you are right now, if you're listening to this, hit me up. Join my Discord. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the other things in the Direct. There is so much to unpack with this, and I would love to do that with you who is listening right now. So, check me out on YouTube, check me out on Kick, check me out on Twitch, that's where I stream mostly. Listen to the other episodes of Pod Hour. Let me know what stuff you want to see me talk about more. This was really fun, albeit brief, just because I wanted to get my thoughts out there, and I'm sure you listen to me ramble quite a bit. Go watch the trailer. Go watch the rest of my stuff. Check me out. You can find me and all my links at linktr.ee/OddHour. You can also just Google OddHour or OddHour NYC. I will show up. I've tested it. Of course, I've Googled myself before. If you haven't, you're lying to yourself. Or you should do it because it's kind of fun. Take care. Be good. Hopefully I see you soon. And hopefully I see you when we start playing this. Because we are going to play it. And it's going to be fantastic. I'm sure of it. Peace out.